Well, over there, you just barely see the tippy top. That was the state capital of Texas here in Austin. This traffic is just monstrous. They tell me there's a turnpike to go around it. I didn't see it. Hope you can see the tippy top over there. I was trying to get a good vantage point, and it'd been a while since I've been to the Capitol over here. So I'm just going to keep trying to shine it over here and hope you can see it off in the distance. It's got that dome at the top. Anyway, this is Austin, Texas. You can see it way off in the distance there, that little tippy top. If I had time, but I'm trying to go do some more audits in the area, keeping that secret where that's at. But this is 35 here. D.C.J. Library, next right. Let me see if I can get the Capitol from here. Nope. I can't do everything. Even when I think I can, I can't. Holy smokes. Woo! Hey, how'd y'all like my new hat? Pretty cool hat I had at our Alamo, down the road from the Alamo. You would think people that live in an area that was bought and paid for by blood of good, honest men, some women, but I think it was either 95% are all men. I can't remember a woman, but I'm just going to throw that in there, because if I don't, and there was a woman, there might be some woman or some man that would take great offense to that and say, hey, you didn't talk about that one woman that was there, or the 3 women that was there that bandaged up the sick or took up arms to start with or close to the end. But it seems like there were some women and children there also, because it was like a Spanish mission there. Now, I used to know that story real well, because I was taught Texas history in the 7th and 8th grade in Texas back in my day, in like junior high. So, at any rate, lo and behold, I learned it, and I knew it really well. Like Colonel Travis and Jim Bowie and all the others that was there. I used to know the names of a lot of people, and I don't know where I'm thinking 175, but I keep thinking there was 175 against like an army of 3,000. But I can't remember. They kept them beat off for days and days. Anyway, this is just me chatting, going through Austin, Texas, reminiscing about my old days, trying to show y'all the Capitol, and just trying to keep content coming out there. Some people watch my videos no matter what. I could just put video number 1 or video 500, and some people just like me. That period. No matter what I do. And there are people like that. They have somebody that they like. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, they turn them on the radio, turn them on the TV, or turn them on YouTube, because they just like them. There's something that they have chemistry with. And so I've got a lot of people that I have chemistry with that like me, like my mindset, my skill set, my ideas, philosophies, beliefs, and so they watch anything. And to all them, thank you for our chemistry, and to the people that just click to see what's going on, thank you for coming over. You know, I'm a minister of the gospel, and I'm a ADA advocate, I'm a civil rights advocate, and I'm an inalienable rights defender for God, because God gave us inalienable rights. Inalienable rights is a right that cannot be taken away. Your right to life, your right to free speech, your right to religion. Government didn't give that right to nobody. You know why? First thing is, they don't have that right. Government has privileges that we, the people, the sovereigns, in which the sovereignty is vested, and you can look that up anywhere you want to, that says, where does the power derive in Texas? Where does the power derive in the United States? It says, the people possess all of the sovereignty. They used a tiny portion of their sovereignty and gave government privileges, duties, responsibilities, and accountabilities. That's why the government cannot do things you can do. They are a corporation, okay? They are the People's Corporation. And there are public officers in the People's Public Trust Corporation. And so we use them as our servants. So it's just like if you own the world's largest gas station and you employ people there. Well, we own the world's largest trust and we employ government officials to work there. We elect the head people in all these different divisions of our corporation, like justice, military, so forth and so on. We elect the head hammer knocker. They, in turn, appoint assistants to help them carry out their mission in the Public Trust Corporation. But they get this big boy idea, and they put on, get too big for their pants, so to speak. Their pants are splitting in the front and back and down the side because they think they're the Incredible Hulk instead of Bill Bixby in regular clothes. And when they turn in the Incredible Hulk, it splits all their stuff and they turn green like a monster, except they wasn't good. They wasn't a good monster. They were a bad monster. And so our corporation, our Public Trust Corporation, has turned against the people, you and me. And they've empowered certain people which are supposed to be peace officers. And the chief duty of a peace officer is to keep the peace and the tranquility in the community, wherever that may be, to save human life above all by keeping the peace. Second, to protect private property. Government property falls below that. Okay? Yes, the public servants have a right to self-defense for their own self, but they have some kind of preconceived, pretextual thought that we're all a threat to them. Well, it's more like they're a threat to us most of the time, and we're a threat to them a minuscule amount of time. So they teach government education and government perversion in the school system. So when you have your boys and girls come home today, your little men and women, you need to ask them what they taught them at school that day, and then you need to do corrective teaching when they get home. Because the school system, which used to be center right to middle right, finally got kind of in the middle, probably in the very, very, very late 70s, early 80s, it was kind of in the middle. And shortly after that, it went center left, and these days, it's center, middle, far left. Even in high school, it's getting further and further left, and most colleges are far, far left. They have outrageous behavior with so-called tenured professors. Okay? That's just like our Supreme Court judges are appointed for life. Okay? So, a lot of them, are not fit to serve because of their age, dementia, other things. Not their political thinking, not their legalistic thinking, but they're just shot out and their thinking's no longer good. So when you're going to sit in that kind of position and make those kind of determinations, you do need to have some sort of mental fitness. Doesn't mean that they can't be physically disabled, but they have to be mentally able. So I think there needs to be some kind of mental competency exam for anybody that appears to have suffered a stroke, hit in the head after a certain age, you know, whether that age is 70, 75, whatever. Then they need to have a yearly checkup before time things to see if they are mentally capable to serve. If they're not, if it's a short time that they're like due to recover, okay, then they just get time off like anybody else. But on the other hand, if they are in a situation that's going to be 6 months, a year, whatever, then they need to go ahead and resign or be retired. They're going to keep getting their check. They just need to go on so we can get somebody else in there. And then I would say, this is just my opinion, but since the president can only serve 2 terms, which comes to 8 years, okay, and because the laws that they pass in case law, case history, whatever, I mean, they sit on cases and they give opinions, and their opinion becomes the ruling way, okay? And since senators in some places, I think, have term limits, and they can run for 2 terms, which is 6 years apiece, then they can do 12. So the longest running office in the country would be a senator at 6 years. So hypothetically, on any given time, any 2-year period, only 1/3, 20 senators go up for election. The next go around 20 go, the next round 20 go. Something like that. Let's see. I have to think about that. There's 100 senators, so 30 or 40, whatever, I guess a third go up every 2 years or something. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. So all 100 of them go up sometime in that 6-year term. It's rotated, however it comes out. I'd have to study that out. It's been a while since I studied civics. They didn't even teach civics when I was going to school in the 60s and 70s. They didn't even teach civics then. My parents is the last ones that went to school that I know that actually had some civics classes, and I went to a school district next to Dallas in Mesquite that was far advanced for schools in their day and time, and then of course I moved over to Dallas. But the point is, nobody was teaching it. Going through Round Rock. The rock is round, round the rock. Okay, so maybe we should make a constitutional amendment that Supreme Court judges can serve for one 12-year term. And a sitting Supreme Court judge does not have to be a bar card lawyer. He just has to know and understand the judicial system and understand the lawfulness. And then, of course, the president puts the man or woman in for nomination, and then the Senate advises and consents. So you would still have to pass that, so the president would reasonably know for sure if somebody was just a unique individual such as I or other men like me and some even more smart than me, but there's definitely not no quote bar card lawyer, and they've never been a judge. But I think I'd make a great judge, and I think other people would make great judges, and the president could nominate me or other men or women, and then the Senate could confirm, and whether it be me or another man or woman, then we would go to there one time for 12 years. And I think that you ought to be able to sit in that position, but you do need to have a little time on you, so you don't have to be maybe middle age, but you would need to be 25 or 30 years of age so that you'd have some actual life experience, and you would show that you can live in life and you can be a productive member of our society, and that you have some decent track record till age 30. So say if you was 30 and you was nominated and you went in, then you'd be able to serve till age 42. You would be in a good position to retire from the Supreme Court and go across the country and teach at law schools, high schools, middle schools, churches, and civic events, and take your Supreme Court justice situations. You would be able to write books about it. You'd be able to help the country a lot. Now people are usually 50 or 60 years old when they go in, and they don't never leave until they got a foot on the banana peel and one in the grave. And usually by that time they're in very, very bad health, and there ain't much left they can contribute to society. And the whole time they sit on the bench, there's either no or very little interviews or teachings, and so you don't know how their mind works except for what was before them. So we need to start appointing them much younger in life, and we need to make sure that they are going by the law, not political feelings, that they are reading the Constitution the way it was wrote and the way it was intended, not trying to make it evolve and make a man become a fish, or a man out of a fish, and that evolution thing people come up with, trying to transfer from saying, well, you start off this way, now you're this. No, if you was a fish to start with, you're still a fish. If you start off as a man, you're a man. You don't evolve into something other. Well, I could talk on this all day and all night, but that would be a great amendment, and that would be something that I think we could get our heads around. And we need to get Anthony Scalia, let's see, is that him? I'm having a brain fart. The longtime Chief Justice that died in Texas here a while back under suspicious circumstances, that was a deep thinker and an outstanding man, and he was for the law, not for the politics, and he loved good debate on the law and the many different aspects and principles of it. We need to have a court full of those men, but they should be between 30 and 40, and then they come in and do their 12-year time, and that's it. 12 years is long enough to be on the bench, and then you just go on and retire. Well, that's all I got to say. Thank you. God bless you, and have a great day to all of you. Bye, 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 bye.